I don't know if I'm in frame or not. I have a meeting with David and Weiss for my class that I'm taking, and I was fine all day until it got until like afternoon, and I'm like literally shaking. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Like, I shouldn't be this nervous, like, at all. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. I hope I don't make a fool of myself. And I hope that I can make a good first impression. Dude, I might start crashing out for real. I'm like not okay. Why am I so nervous? Why are you nervous? You're good enough. You're good enough. This is just 2 questions. This is not a test. This is just 2 questions. You're gonna ask him, and you're gonna get to know him, and he's gonna get to know you, and hopefully he'll give you advice. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. It's okay. It's okay. So to catch you up, I took a class from December to this January over animation screenwriting, and I loved it. It was amazing. It helped me meet so many cool people. My instructor was David N. Weiss, who has written for like Shrek 2, Anastasia, Rugrats, All Dogs Go to Heaven. He has practically been a part of all of our childhoods in some way, and I am so glad and thankful that I got to learn the art of screenwriting from him. I'm so glad that I got to work with his teaching partner, Stephen Roy, who was literally the coolest person ever. They're both so dope, and like not even just the way they taught, but the way they presented themselves and the way that they were so like down to earth and were so willing to share knowledge. I don't know, like, it might be the fact that I was like, oh my god, it's David and Steven, like they're like the coolest people ever. And they are. But there's just something about them as human beings that made the class so much better. And I'm glad I took it. I'm glad that I got to experience that. I'm glad that I had help paying for the class. I am just grateful all around for the opportunities that I've been given through that class. I had a one-on-one with David, which was actually super nerve-wracking. Like, you meet someone who's in the field that you are like running towards, right? Or in my case, lightly sprinting towards. And you get to humanize that space, and you get to see inside of a person's mind and why they chose that path and why they keep pursuing it. And I was so nervous for that one-on-one, and I was literally sitting there like talking to myself and being like, girl, you need to chill out, like it's okay, like David wants to talk to you, like you're not being a burden right now, you're doing great, and it's not like a test of any kind to sort of prove that you really want to be a writer, which is great. Like, I shouldn't have gone into that space thinking that this was a test of like initiation, right? And I'm glad that I had that self-talk, because I'm someone who's very harsh with myself, and I'm someone who I am my worst enemy. I'm my worst critic. I am my own op at sometimes. And it's like living with a roommate who you do love, but you despise them all the same. Very complicated relationship with myself, and I have been trying to be kinder, and I've been trying to sort of walk myself through difficult situations, gentle parent myself, if you will. I need to be better in those moments. I need to not, you know, bully myself and tell myself that, oh, that was so stupid, why did you do that, like that kind of vibe. But I don't know, like, I was so proud of myself to see myself be so kind to me. And I feel like that meeting, that prep for that meeting, was so pivotal for me as a creative, for me as a person. Because, you know, you hear it all the time, like affirmations, positive self-talk, you know, not being your worst enemy. And then you're not your worst enemy anymore, and you realize, oh my gosh, I've been so mean to myself for so long. Like, I've been so mean to myself since, like, I was a child. And I don't know why that happened. I don't know why I'm so critical. I don't know why I'm, like, such a bully. But I am, and it's to myself. To others, it's a joke. I think it was really pivotal for me. And it got me really thinking about the class and what I really got from it. And I wrote a couple down. And I feel like the first one kind of goes a little hand in hand, but it's more so like outside criticism. And that's being able to let criticism roll off my back. I'm the type that if you tell me something, I'm stuck on it, and I'm like, I gotta fix it. It's gotta be perfect. It's gotta be this way, that way. And if it's not, then there's no point in doing this project. There's no point in doing this script. If you don't like it, oh my gosh. And I've gotten better at taking criticism because of the class, because I had to go out of my way and to ask for criticism from other students, from Steven, from David. And I think it helped me sort of get over that initial barrier, because, you know, because I am my worst critic, I expect others to be my worst critic, because that's all I've ever known, right? And so, like, I'm reading it, like, let's say, like, I'm reading my script and I'm going through it, I'm like, oh my god, this part's wrong, they're gonna see this, they're gonna think I'm stupid, they're gonna think this and that. And in reality, no one is gonna be as harsh on you as you are on yourself. In most cases. I feel like a lot of other people could be really hard on me, and I could be like, oh my gosh, like, chill. But learning how to take that criticism, learning how to process the criticism, apply it if needed, and seeing if it'll actually work out, and trusting my own judgment and the judgment of those that I really trust to sort of help me shape a project. That is something that I need to get better at, because that is what being a creative is. Like, we always say, like, oh, I gotta make things that, like, help people feel things, and I want to be able to, like, show people that I can make this movie. But you can never do it fully alone. Some people do, but I feel like this space, this creative space, calls for collaboration on some sort of level. You're gonna be collaborating with someone regardless of what, you know, what field you're in. There's always going to be some sort of collaboration, whether we like it or not, whether we're a people person or not. Collaboration is in our DNA, right? Like, it has to happen some way or another, and not just in the creative space. But if we're in the creative space, my personal philosophy is that any creative thing, any creativity calls for collaboration, because it's better when you have other people. You know, you're so narrow-minded sometimes, and it's better to have someone look in from an outside perspective to really evaluate what you're doing, because we have a little bias when we're creating things, right? Like, we're like, this is perfect, this is good. And sometimes it's like, well, how did you get from point A to point E if, you know, I don't know what B, C, D is, right? Like, what, I don't know what's going on, you know, like picking out plot holes, or or, you know, looking at a piece you've made and them being like, okay, well, but like this vision wasn't as clear as you wanted it to be. Like, because we know every single inch of our projects, we expect other people to know every other inch of our project. And so we basically expect them to have like mind reading things and know exactly why we went from A to E to D to C to B. I don't know why I talked about that, but criticism, it's good, it's important, it's not supposed to be bad. And you getting criticism isn't inherently bad. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't mean that the project that you're working is bad. It's good to have that. And some criticisms, like, people will give you unsolicited criticism because they feel like it's necessary. And sometimes it's a friend being with good intentions. It's someone you barely know who has good intentions. And sure, we can still take those things and learn from them, but not all criticism is needed to be taken fully. I think that there is an ounce of wisdom in criticism that we can get, but it's not always going to be what we need. That being said, criticism is good. I learned that a lot of that from the class. Like, the criticism that I got from my fellow classmates was phenomenal. I had so many people, like, my favorite form of criticism is when people start asking questions and they're like, okay, but if this is this, then why this? Like, show me your thought process. And being able to teach them what my brain is like, you know what they say, like, teach somebody your craft and you'll figure out where you're hazy and don't understand different things. That helped me a lot. And I think that, again, that's another form of collaboration that I think is so important, and it's so needed as a creative. Like, you need some sort of community to bounce off things from. Another thing that David talked about a lot was learning from the masters and learning why people make certain decisions when they're making movies or TV shows or animating, why they do that, you know, learning other people's processes. And I think it was like such obvious advice. Like, of course you're gonna like watch movies, and like, of course you're gonna watch like a Tarantino film and try and understand why he framed something a certain way. You're gonna kind of like nitpick and take note of that. And at first I really thought it was like a lazy piece of advice. I was like, of course, like, okay, I'm gonna go watch a movie because I like movies. But when you sit down and you really take note of the movie and you really watch the movie, most movies boil down have a very similar structure, a structure that's worked. Actually, you can also point out structures that aren't working. You can point out dialogue that's working, what dialogue doesn't work, you know? Like, watching a movie is like free education, basically, because you get to see the fruit of labor of so many different departments, and you can kind of bring your own criticism, your healthy, constructive criticism, and sort of begin to understand why decisions were made. Like, why did we have to see Anastasia with looking for Dimitri and Vlad? Why did we have to see them bump into each other before they knew each other, right? Like, why did we have to see oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the dog's name. Like, why did Anastasia's dog have to come up at that certain moment to lead Anastasia to where she was going? She was asking for a sign. So the purpose of the dog is to bring her to her destiny, essentially. So breaking down little things like that and seeing how you can use different characters, different plot points, different tools to bring a story alive and bring characters alive, and to bring the actual story itself to a place where it just unfolds so gracefully to an audience. So, like, yeah, movies are like free education for the filmmaker. Like, you get to see why people did things. You get to, maybe not the true why of why people did things, because if you're, you know, watching a movie, you're doing an interpretation of it, right? Like you're interpreting what you're seeing through a lens of your own life. I think there's such beauty in being able to see other people's work, in being able to see their process. You get to see a little part of the director and how the actors are moving. You get to see a little part of the DP and how the frames are working together. And you get to see a little part of the editor. And you get to see how they've translated their own, they've interpreted their own vision throughout this movie, and how it works and how it doesn't work, and how it excels at showing a certain emotion and maybe lies flat with a different emotion. Like I said before, I think the biggest thing I got from the class was confirmation that I loved storytelling, and I loved building those stories and executing them and sharing those stories. And it solidified my want and my desire to be in the TV and film industry, to make my own, make my own stories on YouTube, or, connect with people, I love storytelling because I love connecting and resonating with people. I love seeing something that I've poured my heart and soul into be something that connects with the heart and soul of other people. And sometimes it sounds silly, and I think sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so overly ambitious. But seeing how ambitious David was and how he talked about his journey in our one-on-one, I felt so comforted, because I knew that he had been successful, and I know that I'm similarly ambitious as he is, and I want to try out different things so I can learn about, life and get better at writing. And that was another thing that he added on. He always says, go out into the world and go do life things so that you can come back and have tools and experiences that you can translate into your own writing. And he says that he took a dance class so that helped him with animation. He what does he say? He's like, I'm the jack of all trades, master of none, because I go out and I just try things, I just do things so that I have that life experience to make those stories more real and raw. And I found that so inspiring, because I'm also the same way. I want to go do a million things outside of being creative. I want to do a million things inside of being creative. And I want to be able to, have that life experience and say, oh my God, if I have a character that loves voice acting, I'll go take a voice acting class, or I'll go voice act something of my own, and I'll get that experience and the thrill of knowing what my character is going through. And it was such a confirmation, and I needed to take that class, and I needed to reinforce the mindsets and to be able to understand that I'm not freaking crazy for wanting to do all of these things. A girl from a small town in Texas that wants to go out and have big, ambitious things happen in her life, I'm not a freaking lunatic for thinking that, I'm not someone who is just making dreams come out of her booty cheeks. She really wants these things because she really loves them. I really, really want this, and Lord willing, I can get it. And I feel like the Lord is calling me to this, and I feel like the Lord can give me, the guidance that I need to continue doing it. And I just feel like this was the actual first big step that I needed to take to understanding what I really wanted and confirming what I need for this journey. I need Jesus, and I need to get to work, and I need to not let the lack of opportunity around me become a disadvantage. I need to write the scripts for YouTube because that's all I can do right now. I need to look into the different organizations we have around here that could be beneficial. I need to look into, maybe, do I need to move? Do I need to, I need to get my license. I need to do that before I even think about moving. I need to ask the Lord through prayer, petition and fasting, you know what I'm saying? What are the next moves, Lord? Like, what do I need to do in order to get to the place that I'm slightly sprinting to? I wrote this little tidbit at the ending of my Google Doc, but the question, the prompt is, what am I prepared to do now? I'm ready to continue writing my own story and creating worlds where others can see themselves inside of them. My biggest goal is to resonate with people and create something that has a word to give. A sermon, a life lesson, or encouragement. David says people are looking for someone who has something to say, not if they can make a movie. On my own, though, I need to learn how to make it all happen. The story, the production, all of it. If I can get better at making short films and telling those stories, then I can show that I have a grasp on both. Not perfection, but promise and potential. I don't know what she was yapping about there. Maybe I can make that sound better in post-production. Creating content like this, like, I feel like to some people doesn't make sense. And it doesn't, it doesn't align with wanting to go into the TV and film industry. But I love this so much, and it's the closest thing I have to getting to where I want to go right now. You know, I making the FM 816 videos and even these videos, connecting with people and being able to be comfortable with connecting with you guys over my own thought processes, even if like they don't make sense half the time. Me just rambling because I love it, and I love editing, and I love making funny gaming videos because it's fun. It's fun. You know, work-life balance. I love gaming, but I also love story, and I love being able to share those sides of myself with you guys. Not in like an influencer kind of way, but in like, I'm here just to create things that make sense for me, and I love being entertaining, so why not entertain some people along the way? I just really love what I do, and I think it's time that I just keep pushing through and see what happens, and, you know, actually like making these things, but making stuff happen outside of content, and you know, trying to get my foot through the door. I have so many things I want to do. I want to continue writing my animation show, or I don't think it's a show, I think I'm making it into a movie, Triple Booked. I want to continue writing, or, you know, outlining the book that I want to write. There's so many things I want to do. There's so many things I want to do. And I'm just so ready to get them through and done and to share them. $24 to $25. Okay. No, Charlize, this pitch looks fantastic. I don't know if you have a background in design, but you seem to have some skill in the area. Not only did the pitch look great, but it was structured nicely and very clear. This also reminded me of Keep Your Hands Off Aizokun, to a lesser degree, One Cut of the Dead. Both of those are about the love of making film and animation together. I think they might be great comps for your movie. The story section might be able to go a little deeper, even if that makes it a little longer. Yeah. No, when I'm filming something. I got 24 out of 25 on my pitch.
That is awesome.
I know.
Did they give you critiques?
Yeah, I can read it to you.
You go, girl. Yay! All your hard work, mamas.
I know.
All your hard work.
That's crazy.
And these are like big poo-poos, you know?
Yeah.
They're so good.
I'm done now.
So now you're gonna get your certificate?
I should. I've been passing all my assignments.